Hey everybody, Mo here, and today I'm bringing you guys another episode of Meta Monday. A very important one. It's the first Meta Monday of the new season and the new expansion. So we're not even a week in yet. We're about 5 days in, I believe, to the new season. So not even a full week's of data. So take this data with a grain of salt, of course, just like you do with every data. But we'll be going over what decks kind of dominated Masters and kind of dominated the ladder early on, and to see what is performing really strongly. And I'm going to go ahead and give you my personal opinions on what decks I think are going to be the best for this season, at least what is going to be the best right now, and what's going to be the best up until the next patch hits. So you can start maybe learning those decks or trying to beat those decks. But before we get into the Meta Monday, two things. One, I wanted to remind you guys that 68% of the people that watch my videos aren't actually subscribed to me, and you should do that and join my Discord, link down in the description below, because I'm putting out a bunch of content, bunch of deck guides, a bunch of competitive content, and my Discord is the #1 place for LoR competitive players. So if you're an aspiring competitive player, or if you're really interested in seeing my handwritten deck guides and everything like a day before they actually come out, go join my Discord. It's a great place. People are constantly talking in there. People are constantly sharing their achievements, and I'm actually going to pull up my Discord right now, so you see probably not too much lately because it's just the brand new start of season, but you see like I posted when I hit rank 1, see this person finally hit platinum, so they're very excited. So it's not always people just hitting rank 1, it's just people sharing their excitement of how like this person finally hit diamond. So it's a lot of people sharing their experiences, especially when it comes to like gauntlet and stuff like that, to see what other people are playing. And the second thing I want to announce is the winner of the giveaway. So in my last couple of videos, I posted about a giveaway and a chance to enter for a free cane board. You can enter, and it said it announced the winner today on my Meta Monday, and the winner is Ark Survivor. So congratulations to Ark Survivor, you won yourself a brand new cane board. So I'm gonna go ahead and DM them on Discord, and hopefully they accept. We had let's see, how many entrants did we have? Views, giveaway summary. We had, oh, okay, well, maybe we'll do that later on. But I know we had almost 100 entrants like on yesterday, so there's a chance we might have hit 100 entrants. But yeah, 90. We hit 90 entrants, so congratulations Ark Survivor for winning that one. If you guys are interested in more again in these, if you want to participate in some of these giveaways that I do usually at the start of season or whenever a new battle pass type thing drops, I do them in my Discord. Of course, I also have podcast questions, so I just recently did a podcast with other seasonal champions. If you wanted a chance to put your questions here to get them answered, again, join my Discord. It's the best place to be for competitive LoR. But that's gonna be it for the intro. Let's get into the actual Meta Monday. So what's dominating Meta Monday? Surprise, surprise, 3 aggro decks. That's crazy. Who would have thought that the first week of an expansion, 3 aggro decks would be dominating the meta? Not me, definitely couldn't see that coming. So yeah, so very cool. We have Pirates being #1. I don't think that's a surprise to anybody as far as play rate. It was just very, very fine-tuned. I wonder if this has the Hookmaster in it. Yeah, I was one of the first people to start playing Hookmaster, and I can tell you it's extremely good. I'm actually just on no Grenadier 3 Hookmaster. I can go show you guys my list, but I'm pretty sure I was like one of the first mainstream people to play it this way. I was the first person to hit Diamond this season. I went from Plat 4 to Diamond 2 in like 4 hours, which is absolutely insane and unheard of. Probably like the fastest run to Diamond ever. Of course, we got the new LP change, so it made it easier to get through Platinum and stuff like that. But yeah, about 4 hours to get from Platinum to D2, which is, I think, probably a world record. But this is almost exactly my list. Yeah, I'm playing no Grenadier, playing Hookmaster. I don't really know where the main difference comes in between the two lists. I know, so you're missing a Make It Rain, so one of these goes Make It Rain here, and then, okay, that's what it is. So one Grenadier is a Make It Rain, one Grenadier is a 3rd Hookmaster. Yeah, Hookmaster has been absolutely insane. Sometimes you get Scout, and you just like randomly put Scout on Spray Fin, and you level your Misfortune. Sometimes you get like Overwhelm, and now you have a Misfortune with Overwhelm, or a TF with Overwhelm. Sometimes you just get the really big I can't block, so you go like turn 1, play a 3-2, turn 2, play a 3-4, I think it is. Or a 4-3. So it's like turn 1 3-2, turn 2 4-3, that, and your opponent's just like, okay, like I guess I'm just taking 7 damage here. I guess I can't really do anything about these. Yeah, not too much to actually say about Pirates because it's not a new deck, so we'll just kind of skip over it and say, yeah, it's very solid aggro deck. Deck number 2, however, is a new aggro deck. This is Jax Timelines. So Timelines is an extremely strong card, and basically the idea behind this deck, if you haven't seen it yet, is you play concurrent timelines, and then all of your forge or all your improvise units get absolutely insane value. So instead of being like a 2-mana 1/1, if you wanted to look at all the 2-drops, I'd say on average your 2-drops are going to be like 3 2s or 2 3s, or sometimes even bigger. If you want to get high rolly, like, you know, yeah, Boxtopus, which is going to be a 2-mana 3/4. And then those things get the weapon. So instead of just having a 2-mana 1/1 that gets the weapon stats and then says, okay, well now I'm on curve for like an average unit, you take an average unit and then make it super above curve now by giving it this insane weapon. And that's basically what the entirety of this deck does, is you just full mulligan for timelines every game. You have a 55% chance to find timelines on turn 1. You have a 58% chance to find timelines by turn 2. And then all you really need, though, like absolutely need, is timelines by turn 4. So that way your combat cook is absolutely insane. This card, you'll see screenshots all over Twitter of people complaining about the high rolls that people get with combat cook. So for instance, I personally have hit combat cook with overwhelm into Crocolisk. So it's just like, oops, I'm casually hitting you with like a 10-8 Crocolisk here. Or was it? No, it was a because it gives +3/+1. Yeah, 10-8. So it's just like, oopsie, here's like a 4-mana 10-8 overwhelm unit. You know, it's like, what deck can deal with the 4-mana 10-8 overwhelm unit that also has to deal with your, like, you know, 3-mana 5/5 and you're like 2-mana 4/4 or something like that. You know, it's not very easy. And then of course you get to play your cool tools like Aloof Traveler and Pharaoh's Financer, so you get a little bit of you know, what is it called, like you get a really good 4-drop here with a really good effect. So instead of getting a shitty 2/3, you get an actual like well-statted good 4 cost with getting a good effect of removing your opponent's win condition or answer. And then of course everybody knows Reggie as being this just PNZ staple, just about 3 of in every single PNZ deck. And then for the spells, you can switch it up. I don't know whose list this is exactly, but a lot of lists, at least originally, were just playing like 3 Get Excited, 3 Mystic Shot. I know some people started leaning into Station Archivist to go ahead and find concurrent timelines because, again, the main important thing is having timelines before you have this combat cook in play. So going turn 3 Archivist into finding that timelines for your, you know, turn 4 combat cook is extremely important. This isn't exactly what I've been playing, or what the rank 1 guy's been playing, but look, you can see me. Here's me, 3rd best Jax Vi player. This is the deck I used to actually hit Masters. So I used Pirates to go from Plat 4 to D2, but then I lost all my LP the next day because everybody was just playing anti-Pirates. It just, you know, it is what it is. That's how it is sometimes, is people just super hate on the most played deck. Makes sense. So everybody was super hating Pirates, so I hit 0 LP. It was like, oh, I might as well try a new deck out. Picked up Jax Vi, literally just went from D4 to Masters. It wasn't even close. It's just like, it was nuts. And the version I was playing like 3 Get Excited, 3 Mystic Shot. So I had a really nice burn finisher. So I could usually get a bunch of damage in like early to mid game with my overwhelm units or my scout units or whatever, like my really well statted units. And then towards the end of the game, be like, oh, you're at 5 HP and stabilized, Get Excited Mystic Shot, and just kill them that way. Let's see. And then the 3rd deck, I called this one Aggro. So a lot of people don't agree that it's aggro. Some people call it like tempo or mid-range, which I hate calling decks tempo. I think calling a deck a tempo deck is really stupid because it's not very helpful as far as what it is. But this is probably the closest thing you could call just like a pure tempo deck. My list is completely different from this one. Am I on this too? Oh, I am. Cool. So this is what my list looks like. I'm on I actually just swapped out the 3 Burgeoning Sentinel for 3 Hookmaster. But yeah, basically the idea behind this deck, it's the same red Gwen from last season, except I play Hookmaster and I'm on 1 Skitterer. The reason is because this 1 Skitterer is really nice for whenever you're trying to do like a fearsome aggro plan. If your opponent has like, it could be a mirror breaker if your opponent has like, oh, Phantom Butler, Arachnoid Sentry, like whatever, has some blockers like even a Gwen, and you just go like, okay, boom, Skitter, you can't block, attack you. And then if Skitter is your biggest unit, sometimes, you know, Eternal Dancers can bring back a Skitterer, so burst speed opponent can't block. It's kind of like a miniature Fallen Reckoner, but not nearly as good. And also against aggro decks, it could save you a lot of HP. If, you know, it just gives you another play. This used to be a Telstones, and most decks this is going to be a Shadow Isles Telstones, but against aggro, this is really good because if they're really wide, this card isn't necessarily good into aggro, but it's going to be a lot better than most of your cards. Like, it's going to be better than this, Obviously better than like a Telstones, because when your aggro opponent is really wide, you could play this and essentially just gives you +1 HP for every unit it affects past the unit you block. Which is really nice. So, and the reason I'm on Hookmaster instead of Burgeoning Sentinel is because Hookmaster gives you tools to make your Gwen bigger and scarier. So if you hit like Overwhelm, that's really good for your Gwen. If you hit Fearsome, that's really good for your Gwen. You could hit Scout, that's obviously really good for your Gwen. And then also you could hit Quick Attack, and that helps you go infinite. If you get Quick Attack with Eternal Dancers, you could go Quick Attack, Eternal Dancers, bring back Ruin Reckoner or a leveled Katarina, and then so you go like big Quick Attack, Eternal Dancers, attack, get Fallen Reckoner, target Eternal Dancers, make it attack. They can never block it because it has like 9 attack because it's hollowed, so it's a 3/6 plus the 2 from the Quick Attack weapon, so it's automatically a 5/6 plus like some amount of hollowed. It's gonna be really hard to block like a 7/6, 8/6, like sometimes even 9/6 Quick Attack unit, and you literally just get infinite attacks. So that's also why I like playing Ionia Hookmaster, because it gives you the chance to just go infinite sometimes. Outside of that, you just have like really good removal tools here. Obviously Ravenous Flock, Hate Spike, really good 1 mana like removal spell. And then Harrowing is going to be usually like really big combo finish. There's like, I don't think really any deck can deal with Harrowing right now, except for decks that have Deny, because they can just deny the Harrowing. But if they don't have Deny, you usually just win on the spot. All right, and then deck number 4. Past deck number 4 is when we start to get like non-aggro decks. So deck number 4 is Kindred Nasus. The win rate on this thing is really bad. I honestly have no idea why people are playing this deck. It seems really bad. You lose to Pirates, which is super popular. You lose to Kennen Ezreal, which is super popular. And then Nami, TF, and Kai'Sa aren't popular. But apparently people think it beats the red Gwen. But I don't even think it does. I think it's just like it shows here, it's like 50-50. So like that's not very good in my opinion. I don't really like it, but people are playing it, so here you go. This is just very good like anti mid-range deck, because you play like Crumbles, Hate Spikes, your units are just typically bigger. Your Kindred is going to be really good against mid-range decks. It basically just forces your opponent to say, hey, like or forces you to tell your opponent, hey, do you have a way to deal 3 damage to this Kindred on turn 4? If not, then I'm going to win the game, because Kindred is just going to take over the board basically instantly. Yeah, but as you see here, win rate's not very good because it loses to some of the best decks in the game. Next is Kennen Ezreal, which is, in my opinion, the best deck in the entire game right now. And of course, I'll go over this towards the end, but this is basically the best deck in the entire game. You lose to like Pirates, and that's it. You lose to, yeah, let's see, you lose to Pirates. You're supposed to lose to Darkness, but I just think Darkness isn't very good, so there's no reason to really play Darkness. We can look at the Darkness matchup table here in a second, because I think it's number 10. But we'll look at it here in a second. But yeah, the deck like loses to Pirates, and that's about it. It says it loses to Red Gwen, so it's actually very close. From the Red Gwen player side, I can tell you that if they don't have like 3 Kennens in play by turn 4 or 5, then the Red Gwen player wins. Especially if you're on like a Fearsome variant. This deck really cannot block Fearsome blockers ever. They play like the 2 twin or 3 twin. Yeah, see, 2 twin, pretty standard. And essentially, if they don't have 2 twin, they can't block any Fearsome blockers, like non-Fearsome blocker, non-Fearsome blocker, non-Fearsome blocker. The Dragon Leagues are non-Fearsome, non-Fearsome. 1 Fearsome blocker by turn 4, and then this guy is a Fearsome blocker on turn 6. So before turn 6, basically, they get 1 Fearsome blocker. And then again, they play exactly 2 twins, so usually you don't have to worry about it. And then plus, in my deck, personally, I play Skitterer, which makes it even harder for your opponent to block. If they do have that Kinku Wayfinder, you just play the Skitterer, and it removes their 1 Fearsome blocker, which is extremely important. But other than that, that matchup, this deck is just dominating. You just play, like, get your Kennens in play. As long as you don't get hands like I've been getting, which is, like, triple deny hands and, like, double Nopify hands, or triple deny, triple Godwill of Seedling. If you don't draw hands like that, you draw hands like a normal human, then this deck is really, really, really good. And I highly recommend learning it, because I think we're going to be in an Ionia meta. And if this deck doesn't get super nerfed in the patch next week, I think it's next week, but in whatever week we get the patch, if this deck doesn't get super nerfed, you're gonna wish you spent an extra week practicing this deck. I personally, I've been playing, like I said, a lot of the red Gwen. This has basically been my deck, my go-to deck, but as of today, I'm going to start playing Kennen Ezreal. I'm just going to learn this deck in and out. I'm going to try and master this deck and try to yeah, pick it up so I have it for seasonals, because I think it's going to be the best deck in the game for sure. Let's see, number 6, Mono Kai'Sa. Not a surprise, another very optimized deck doing well on week 1. That's not a surprise in case you didn't know. Yeah, not much to say here. I think people started playing, yeah, Combat Cook. People started playing Combat Cook and then the revive spell here, so you can get like 3 mana revive your Kai'Sa is good, or like worst case scenario it's 5 mana revive your Kai'Sa. It just gives you like 2 extra copies of Kai'Sa. I think this deck's kind of too slow now. I think this deck just straight up got power crept. Like Kai'Sa loses to Kennen Ezreal, Nasus Kindred, Katarina Gwen, Jax Vi, it doesn't really lose to scouts, or sorry, not scouts. It doesn't really lose to pirates if you have like the nut curve, but unless you have like the absolute nut curve, the pirates just like smokes it. So you see here, like, yeah, like pirates beats it. Let's see what the stats say. The stats say that Jax Vi actually loses to it, but I'm pretty sure I was pretty favored going into it with Jax Vi. And then Katarina Gwen. Let's see, what does this say? It says it's unfavored into the auction version. I find it pretty favored. I think this matchup's like really free for Katarina Gwen. We know it's going to lose to Kindred Nasus for sure, right? Oh no, it beats Kindred Nasus. Okay, never mind. Kindred Nasus just sucks. Ignore that deck. But yeah, Ezreal Kennen like smokes it. But yeah, I think this deck is definitely not bad. Like, it beats random junk, but I think it just doesn't pair up well into the other top decks. Number 7, TF Nami Shadow Isle. So the Tank Buster's been doing really well with this. Basically, it's just old Shadow Isles TF Nami with the only changes is it went up to like 3 Quietus. So people aren't playing Quietus, they're playing Go Hard, and then some people are playing Heavy Metal to kind of get rid of like the early equipment units. I don't know exactly what the Tank Busters list is. Let's see. So this is the Tank Busters list. So he is still playing Go Hard version. Yeah, I would basically just be on whatever this guy's playing. So he's on only 1 Harrowing, but he's on a Riptide Sermon, 3 Go Hard. And it seems to be doing well for him so far, especially in this early meta where everything is super aggressive. You know, Go Hards can only be so bad. And the last deck we're going to look at is Auction Kayn. So Auction Kayn coming with a 43% win rate, extremely low. Deck is not very good, not very consistent, but it's fun. Like, when it pops off, this deck pops the fuck off. Like, if you go turn 1 Buried Armor, turn 2 Auction, turn 3 the 4/4 weapon from this thing, Auction becomes like unkillable basically. Like, you can't deal with a 2 mana like with a 6/6 Auction. That is just not a thing. The problem is that that's not very consistent curve, and that's only like your best curve. If you don't draw Buried Armory on like turn 1, turn 2, then this deck is very bad. Like, extremely bad. So that's basically this entire deck is just full mulling for this landmark, and then if you don't draw it, you have 0 chance on winning. And even if you do draw it, your deck isn't that good, and your opponent just has to chump block a unit over and over again. So if you're gonna play a strategy that's just full mulligan for a 1-mana card and hope you win the game, why not just play Timelines? Like, either this or the Freljord Timelines with like Trundle Vi or Trundle Caitlyn, stuff like that, you know? So not very good deck. So those are the top 8 most played decks in Masters right now. So let's go ahead and look at the top 8, or let's look at the couple most winning decks. So here you go. It's just gonna be Kennen Ezreal, oops, TF Nami, TF Nami. So Ionia version of TF Nami coming in here. It's literally just so this is like a more control-y version of TF Nami than like Shadow Isles. The Shadow Isle version can just like randomly combo you out of nowhere and then has like Harrowing for backups and stuff. This version of Ionia TF Nami is just way more controlling and way more polarizing. It just like completely smokes aggro, stalls against mid-range, then you have denies when you need it to play slow. And you just play the super slow grindy matchup plan. It really reminds me of like Ari Kennen Go Hard, where you don't really care about killing your opponent. You can just play this super slow, super grindy matchup and just go like, okay, opponent, hit you for 2, hit you for 2, hit you for 2, hit you for 2, and then you're just gonna slowly like run them out of resources between your like Eye of the Dragon blocking, your like Palm denies, stuff like that. But yeah, this deck is just a really more control-y version of the TF Nami, whereas the Shadow Isle version is more of a combo style. Like, it's still control-y, but not nearly as control-y as the Ionia version. And then number 1, of course, Kennen Ezreal that we talked about. So those are the top 3 most winning decks. Again, for me personally, I would recommend playing Kennen Ezreal, learning the deck. This deck is extremely good. I don't really know how difficult it is. I personally don't think this deck's actually that difficult. The main thing is just learning how to keep your Kennens alive. And then outside of that, again, so TF Nami is still looking to be really strong. Just Nami in general, decks are looking to be really strong. So you play Kennen Ezreal, TF Nami, and then Red Gwen is going to be really strong as well. So those are the top 3 decks I would recommend for ladder. Those are going to be the 3 decks that I'm playing for ladder for sure, because I already know how to play TF Nami Shadow Isles really well. I feel like I'm getting pretty well on at least Katarina Gwen. I hit rank 1 with it. And then Kennen Ezreal, something I'm going to have to learn, but it is also, I think that's going to be the best deck in the game for sure. So also I hit rank 1 with at least Katarina Gwen, and I'll be putting a deck guide out on that tomorrow. So if you're interested in that competitive deck guide, super in-depth rank 1 deck guide, make sure to, subscribe to the channel and then join the Discord so you don't miss notifications on when that video goes out. But that's gonna be it for this Meta Monday. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.